So everyone guys, I hope you're all doing so well. Welcome to today's episode, and we're just gonna talk about everything in terms of the formation of the revelation spiritual home. So we're celebrating the birth, we're celebrating the continuous birth or the rebirth of the revelation spiritual home. We are celebrating the birth of the revelation spiritual home. We are celebrating the birth of an African identity. We are celebrating a birth of a home that has got the identity of a black child. We are celebrating a birth of a home that has got the interests of black marginalized people at heart. We are celebrating the birth of a home that gives us an example of what is an African child in overall perspective. How should an African child be perceived as, or be looked in which way, or which is an example of a home that shows us how should an African child be respected, and how should an African child be celebrated in all the times. So we're celebrating a very successful black liberatory institution. This institution has liberated many people through its work. We're gonna go through the work of the Revelation Spiritual Home since from its birth in 2009. It has been 15 years of black emancipation through changes that took place between 2009 and now 2024. So we're just gonna reflect on the growth and things that the Revelation Spiritual Home did from 2009. So we're gonna start now. So guys, you know, good thing, the Revelation Spiritual Home, before it was called the Revelation Spiritual Home, it was formerly known as the Revelation Church of God. And I think Utata Imboni, Dr. Zolas Khatebe, who is the founder and the current leader of the Revelation Spiritual Home, informed us about why it changed from being a church to a home, to a spiritual home. In 2009 it was called the Revelation Church of God, and now the Revelation Spiritual Home. Yeah. So during that period, I can't remember when exact year, between 2019, but during this phase, after that I prophesied about the era, the change of eras, then everything was revealed. The change of this spiritual home from a church to a spiritual home does not just thing that you wake up in the morning and he felt it changed. The stop, which means the way it changed from the use of a Bible to the use of only the revelations from Isidala. You did not just wake up in the morning and decide, but it was through Isidala, Zomoya, informed him, engaged him through visions and dreams. So this is how it was, and this is the way you should take in order to liberate black people fully. And that's why it was a change of the name of the church to a Revelation Spiritual Home, and there was no longer use of a Bible. So it was a change of an era that we talked about. So maybe a change of an era to this era that we're in right now, which means it was meant to happen. There must be change from a church to a spiritual home, and from the use of the Bible to the use of only the Revelation Spiritual from this Moya. So let us check the internet. What is the Revelation Spiritual Home as per the internet here, which means it was posted this thing on the Revelation Spiritual Home blog. So like when you check on the internet, you search the Revelation Spiritual Home, the home page of the Revelation Spiritual Home, and when you enter the home page, it shows you the logo of the Revelation Spiritual Home with different flags of different countries in the world and the whole of Africa. There is a Lesotho flag, there is a USA flag, there is a Botswana flag, there is Ivory Coast flag, there is Zimbabwe flag, there is Mozambique flag here, there is Eswatini flag, and many other flags. This shows ukuthi the Revelation Spiritual Home, one of its aims and objective is to unite, is to rally behind African spirituality, unite all black people around the world and all nations around the world under the banner of African spirituality. Which means the Revelation Spiritual Home is the force that seeks to unite all people, specifically black people and other nations, under the banner of spirituality or African spirituality in essence. So this logos behind, these flags of different nations behind the logo of the Revelation Spiritual Home, they signifies the unity of all nations under the banner of African spirituality or spirituality in general. So when you enter into, it has got branches all over the world. There's branches in Gauteng, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, all provinces in South Africa. There are branches in all provinces in South Africa. And specifically in terms of numbers, there are more than 67 branches. Actually, more than 70 branches all over the world, including in Ireland, Eswatini, Botswana, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Mozambique, and all other countries outside the world, in the world. So when you enter into, there are branches, it has built more branches, 70 branches all over the world. It has got its own publications. Isambulo, some African news, it is a newspaper publications that informs the people about spirituality, whatever that is happening around the world in terms of spirituality and the Revelation Spiritual in terms of spirituality, politics, business, technology, science, lifestyle, entertainment, health, travel, and religion. This is just a newspaper, online newspaper of Istanbul, some African news. It talks about everything, politics, and involved here, what's happening in the podcast space. There are many things that Istanbul, some African news talks about, but this Istanbul, some African news is first under the Revelation Spiritual Home. It's a publication of the Revelation Spiritual Home. And Utata here on the blog, it shows his latest book he published, An Introduction into African Indigenous Spirituality. It's a must-have book. So Utata launched this book last year, and we're still gonna go through it and literally read it properly and be able to reflect on it also. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that book. And Utata on this blog is some African news. It talks about everything that is happening at the Revelation Spiritual Home. Yes, man. And Utata is also involved in the institution called the African Association for Indigenous Spirituality, AFIS, wherein there are many people who are engaged. That's where Isangoma, abantu abelaphi bendabuko, abantu bonke under the banner of spirituality who are united and who are able to spread forward the message of African spirituality around the world. James is involved in AFIS, and also he always holds yearly memorial lecture of Mr. Mzukulu Slabat Steve Khatebe, and they hosted it on the 7th of December 2023. That's why we have a lecture and people get to speak and provide the perspective. So there's the blog, is their blog here, and again there's Dr. SB Khatebe Foundations. Again, here's a foundation, Dr. SB Khatebe Foundation. She means in this foundation he actually provide with assistance in terms of, let me just say, during COVID there were problems of COVID, there are problems of floods in KZN, and that's where he gets to be involved in Dr. SB Khatebe Foundation. They provide with assistance so that people can be able to go through or overcome those challenges they experience when they've got floods. Even during COVID he was involved. There were videos that he was involved in helping people to have something to eat at least, and some incentives for people who are struggling, obviously, and there are bursaries involved through this foundation, SB Khatebe Foundation. So he actually provides proper things for the communities. He does not just speak about assistance of black people. It does not just speak about how important it is for as black people to uplift ourselves, but he do it actually for black people. He always provide assistance to black people all over the country and all over the world with assistance of any kind. So that's very important for a leader, just to speak. Yeah. It is not enough to just to speak, but to do is proper to do. That's how important. And Utata declared ukuthi on the 19th of August, the publication was released ukuthi this is the era of power and dominance for Amasosha. So he calls people abantu Amasosha who attends the reverse spiritual Amasosha. Yeah, so he says this is the era of power and domination. We must dominate in our own spaces, we must have power and dominate in our own spaces we are involved in as black people or as Amasosha. And what other thing again? Let us go back. Let me just see, guys. If you go back, let's talk about who are we, as per the Reverse Spiritual Home. Who are they? The Reverse Spiritual Home is a place where you feel you belong, although you are not born there, because you have a lot in common with the people, the culture, and the way of life. Cambridge Dictionary. The spiritual home is an African indigenous initiated home based on African spirituality and structure to restore, thus bringing to the fore the consciousness of the African people back to the African spiritual roots. We pride ourselves of being one of the leading custodians of African spirituality teachings with a view of making African spirituality a way of life, which means the existence of the Revelation Spiritual Home is to restore black people, is to restore black identities, to restore black culture and a way of life through the spiritual African spiritual teachings and through Zambo and their core values, integrity, which means they uphold the quality of honesty and have a strong moral principles as we are in the state of being whole and undivided, therefore upholding territorial African integrity and our ancestral ascendancy, which means that always teaches about responsibility, being responsible as Abantu. You must always be responsible, you must always keep pride, keep promises, helping others, you must respect them, you have humility towards other people. These are teachings of Imboni in general. He always teaches us to be responsible of whatever that we are involved in. He always teaches about honesty, being honest with your people or with the people you are involved in around. He always teaches about unity. They are positioned to unite indiscriminately in spirit of deed, thought, and embrace our diversity. Which means, as you have mentioned, African spirituality or the Reverse Spiritual Home is all about the unity of black people under the banner of African spirituality. It's always unifies. He always talks about unity of black people for a purpose, unity of purpose, basically. Then the Reverse Spiritual Home is one of the homes that respects African spirituality, that pushes the message of African spirituality. While they recognize the importance of being concerned with the spiritual aspect of a human being in the African context, we also acknowledge the existence of a divine nature greater than ourselves. We pride ourselves for our ability to shift other priorities and allowing the Blue Nation to embrace African indigenous spirituality and placing greater emphasis on the nature of spirituality in a more profound way. Which means this spiritual home, it pushes the mandate and the message of African spirituality in essence. And the Revelation Spiritual Home is led by an Imboni whose gifts are not only limited to prophecy but include the gift of healing using water, salt, and other healing elements that are constantly revealed to Imboni. Which means Imboni uses water, amanzi, and itswai, salt, to heal. And there are prophecies also and other healing elements that are constantly revealed to the Imboni through izambulo, which means from izidalwa, they reveal certain healing elements to heal the nation, because we heal through the use of different methods as abantu omnyama. That's true. And their services are always there. On Sunday 7 o'clock there's a Sunday service. On Monday 4 p.m. every Monday there are teachings, Revelation Spiritual Home teachings every Monday. Even today is Monday, there are teachings at 4 o'clock 4 p.m. at all branches, in all branches actually. Yeah, so imboni uzo embula imimbono. And on Tuesday it's in Tsebenzo from 12 o'clock, and on Thursday also is in Tsebenzo. Then on Friday, not all the time, but once in a month, each and every Friday, once in a month, they hold the love life, to talk about everything love. Then on Saturday they hold, every first Saturday of the month they hold Intebenzo Mama. Yeah, that's their services, first Saturday and first Friday of the month. Yeah. And what's other thing again? Yeah, what's other thing again in Shia? Let's talk about the articles of scholars, which means they were written articles of scholars by scholars, religious scholars who came in South Africa, and they wrote articles. So let us talk about this. This is the beta writer. When you search on the internet, the beta writer, the title is Inside the Revelation Spiritual Home. Number 1, The Path of Imboni. It was written on the 13th of February 2023. Beta Writer, a magazine on religious liberty and human rights. Inside the Revelation Spiritual Home, The Path of Imboni, number 1. Which means they took a visit to a booming South African indigenous spiritual movement founded in 2009 by Dr. Samuel Khatebe, regarded as a high-level spiritual guide. Which means the title Imboni is a high-level spiritual guide. Yes. And these are different articles by Beta Right. There are many things that are written here, but they actually talked about the experience they had when they interviewed Amasosha and Imboni. So they took videos, pictures. These people are saying, as per the research, it's a research they did when they took a guide to the Revelation Spiritual Home. When they visited the Revelation Spiritual Home, these are religious scholars, religion scholars, basically. Which means they're saying Imboni is a word used in several different African languages to indicate a high-level spiritual guide. Although he is often referred to in the media as Prophet Khatebe, he explains that there is a difference between a prophet and Imboni. A prophet is an inspired preacher and speaks for God, but Imboni is a much more than that. Imboni is a spiritual guide who possesses immaculate spiritual foresight and indigenous spiritual wisdom. Importantly, Imboni's spiritual revelations are primarily of national importance. He comes from a lineage of Imboni, plural for the word Imboni, and has been designated by the Creator God in Fitlakalo, which is the God of the Revelation Spiritual Home in Fitlakalo. They call the Creator God Fitlakalo at the Revelation Spiritual Home to be the spiritual guide of the whole nation. And Imboni is born as such, not taught or elected by a group. Imboni is born, not elected or taught. In addition to the powers of prophecy and spiritual guidance, he has the power to heal both spiritual and physical. So there are many things they talked about here. Many things they talked about on the article there. So you can go and read about it on the internet, guys. There are many things that Imboni experienced while he was still a religious leader, or while I was still using both religion and African spirituality. So let's talk about his businesses. During this 15-year period, he formed a company called Trillion Card Investments. Trillion Cards Investment, and let's get into the website of Trillion Cut Investment. You can see, go to Trillion Cut. Let's talk about sectors of where in Trillion Cut is based. The sectors that it's a business, like guys, it's a company that is business. Trillion Cut is in the media, information and communication technology. It is actually involved transport and warehousing, wholesale and retail, food and beverage, security, beauty and wellness, fitness, agriculture, sports and recreation, construction and automotive industry, mining, manufacturing industry, hospitality and tourism, and many other things. So they involve in those sectors of the economy. Okay, yeah. And let's talk about their projects. Their projects that involved in projects of the Trillion Cut. Trillion Cut is a business that was formed by Imbon, Dr. Zosakhatep. The founder of this company is Religious Spiritual Home. Okay. So the projects that were involved, the cool drink. They are latest drink, McCool. Trillion Cut Investment is expected to announce the acquisition of the McCool beverage, which will be distributed by one of its subsidiaries, Invelo Pharmaceutical, originating from Korea. McCool is a healthy alternative to cola, loaded with vitamin B1, B2, and vitamin C. McCool is expected to be forced to be recognized within the cola sector. Wow, this is a drink from Korea. Another one is Burger Joint. The latest one is Burger Joint. Burger Joint soon to be launched. It has already been launched in northwest or Northern Cape, if I'm not mistaken, by a lady. He has the Burger Joint already. It's a franchise. It gives the opportunity to entrepreneurs to franchises, to be franchisees, and it was founded by Trillion Cut Investments. It's a lot of things. Then there are again other things: African spiritual sticks, agrico and agriculture. There are different sectors within Trillion Cut. There's agrico, there's got Womhlonyan, there's got those African spiritual sticks. There are a lot of things, guys, that are very good, that are sold by the spiritual home, and there are many projects actually here. There are many projects. Many of them, you can talk the whole day talking about the spiritual home. Which means under Trillion Cut, there are different businesses under Trillion Cut, or companies under Trillion Cut that are under Trillion Cut. You talk about Invelo Pharmaceuticals, Ubuntu Luxury Goods. They sell Isipa. They sell soaps under Ubuntu Luxury Goods, and under Invelo Pharmaceuticals they sell Boma Umhlonyane. It's all about pharmaceuticals, Invelo, which means nature. It's all about everything that you drink, about all those things you drink for healthy things. There are many things that are healthy that you can drink from under the Invelo Pharmaceuticals. There is Golden Lofts property, Tandy Jasben Farm. There is farm also that are owned by the Trillion Cut. Anglo Breeding Start, Anglo. Those are animals. Abazi Productions is music. Abazi Productions is music, like the religious spiritual home. Aba Police Bomoya under Abazi record label or Abazi Productions. And Istanbul Publications, that online newspaper. And Mamoya travel agency. There's a travel agency inside. If you want to maybe travel to other places, there's agency inside Trillion Cut. They assist with traveling costs and all those things covered. Then African Center for Excellence, Istanbul Communications, Samuel Lofts, Kutenkiri Baba, Ibon Dr. Zosakhatep is involved in lofts again. Like the beds, they fly in business of like beds. Pigon Due News, Amahlubi Security, they've got security guards under Amahlubi. Trillion Cut Mining, there's mining also. Sianga Corner Burial Scheme, the funeral cover, Sianga Corner Burial Scheme. Black Rhino Gym, it's all about good health, gym and so ever. Then Trillion Cut Construction, guys. There's Morea of things here, Morea of them. There's more of business involved. Let me just go down, okay, guys. Yeah, I think there are many of them here. So let's talk about the founder of the Trillion Card. The founder is Dr. Khatebe. Dr. Khatebe is an astute businessman who founded and chairs Trillion Card Investments. Dr. Khatebe holds 2 doctorates and many other qualifications from different institutions, such as the UCT. He's a published author and established the Dr. Khatebe Foundation and a non-profit organization in 2013. Dr. Khatebe is also the owner of Trillion Card Football Club. Dr. Khatebe also sits as an advisor in a multi-million-dollar international company. He's amongst the few black businessmen who have championed for the distributors model with the aim of to empower people. Furthermore, Dr. Khatebe also established African Center of Excellence in 2015, which aims to offer educational skills programs that will enhance African excellence. The center offers specialized mindset program with the aim to be the #1 leading African indigenous educational hub in Africa. As the founder of Trillion Card Investments, he has featured in some of the well-known business leadership magazines like BBQ, People Magazine, Leadership, Business Tech, and also featured on television programs such as ENCA, News 24, and SABC, including international media, among others. There are many things, guys. There are many things here. Many things, guys. Like, we can literally spend the whole day talking about Trillion Card and investment, everything about Trillion Card and Dr. Khatebe. So, in conclusion, guys, obviously, Trillion Card Investments is a 100% black-owned conglomerate corporation which established its first independent business in 2009, with the birth of other businesses thereafter. In 2014, all established independent businesses were consolidated into a fully fledged conglomerate in the making. Trillion Card Investment has over 22 distinct subsidiary companies in 16 different industries. 16 has got in 16 different industries. There are 22 distinct subsidiary companies, and there's a vision. There's a vision of Trillion Card, which I'm not gonna spend much time on it. There's also there are many things that we can talk about the Revolution Spiritual Home. In conclusion, I'd like to say, happy birthday to the Revolution Spiritual Home, and we have learned a lot from this institution. It has birthed many leaders. It has birthed many companies that today uplift the life of black people. And we are saying, Utata must continue blessing, must continue teaching, must continue empowering black people in all aspects of our lives. I'm here, I'm this man today because of the Revolution Spiritual Home, and I will always be thankful of teachings like Dr. Khatebe, Dr. Zolos Khatebe, in So guys, let's not forget to follow those teachings and apply them in our daily lives. Dr. Zolos Khatebe, with the work he has done for black people, and we will continue embracing him, we will continue blessing and advocating and advancing his dream of black unity and black successful in terms of businesses and otherwise. That, and we'll continue supporting him. We'll continue being members and supporters and sympathizers of the Revolution Spiritual Home in all aspects of our lives. Will one day be restored through teachings like Dr. Khatebe, through business initiatives like Dr. Khatebe, through everything that Dr. Khatebe does for African people in all aspects of our lives. Malibongwe izulu nasemsebenzini malibongwe izulu ngithi makube njalo zulu nokhanya zulu. Enkosi.